Hi, my name is Brett. I'm a second year business student here at Brock, and I'm here today to talk to you about my challenges dealing with anxiety and the journey I went through combating my disorder while recovering from a concussion for about 2 years. I will start by saying that what I'm about to do scares the hell out of me. Mental illnesses are stigmatized, and the driving force behind my anxiety is to avoid something being wrong with me. So discussing my mental illness in front of a large number of people is incredibly frightening. But regardless, here I go. Ever since I can remember, I've always been a worrier. I was almost always anxious. However, it was literally all I knew, so to be honest, I never thought I had a problem. I thought that's just what life was. As I got older and responsibilities and expectations increased, my anxiety gradually grew. Then I came to Brock as a first-year student, and like life leading up to university, I was always worried. I would spend my nights up stressing about the next or past social situation, how I was going to get schoolwork done, and just about anything else that my mind could get my hands on. As time went on in first year, my anxiety grew some more. I was sick during all exams and midterms, and dealt with 2 panic attacks in my final term. That summer, I finally realized that I had a problem and was then diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. I was put on medication, and when I got back to school, I went to Student Health Services and started receiving counseling. It was helping, but then on November 7th of 2012, I suffered my second of 2 concussions in a 9-month span, this one lasting almost 2 years. The rehab process was the most difficult and dark experience of my life. For the first year or so, I spent almost all of my time alone. I would wake up, watch TV alone, have a nap, watch more TV alone, go to sleep, and do it all again the next day. This was my life. I had almost no social interaction because the excitement, along with all the types of noises and distractions, were too much for me to handle physically. There would be times that I would push myself to interact with friends or family for a bit, and more often than not I would pay for it by getting dizzy and woozy, and the night would usually end with me throwing up a few times before going to bed. I've never felt more alone in my entire life. I felt like I was stuck in my body. I couldn't be social, or I would pay for it physically, but if I wasn't social, I would get incredibly anxious and depressed. Things got to a point where I thought I was getting what I deserved. I felt like there was something wrong with me. As I said at the beginning, the driving force behind my anxiety has always been for me to avoid something being wrong with me. So when I was placed in this dark and lonely situation, that's exactly how I felt. On top of that, I was putting my parents and sister through an awful lot of stress and difficulty. My mood swings and the general dynamic of living with someone with a concussion made things difficult for them. This made me feel incredibly guilty. I believed I was bringing nothing but negativity towards them, or anyone for that matter, which in turn pushed me even further into isolation. Things got to a point where I thought there was no point to life. I felt like the injury was never going to heal, and that I would be stuck in this prison forever. And on top of that, I felt like I deserved every bit of it, like it was some sort of cruel punishment for not being good enough. But then things started to change, and the biggest reason for that was my doctor, Dr. Duke. This is because she helped me with both the physical and mental side of not only my concussion, but my battle with mental illness. In one of the first appointments I had with her, she told me that by the time she was through with me, my anxiety disorder would be gone. I thought that was a load of crap. But as we worked on things together over time, I began to change and adjust. And with the help and support from her, from a man she sent me to named Grant Rawcliffe, who runs a workshop online about how to relate to your mind, and from all of my friends and family, I was able to see that a life free from constant worry and anxiety was actually possible. And not only could I see the possibility, I was motivated to get myself there. I started diving into my disorder and started facing it head on. While doing so, I began facing my fears, and as I did, my worrying began to decrease. As a result, I'm now a completely redefined person. There's a quote that states, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the conquering of it." I still experience fear, worry, and anxiety like very many people do, but I'm now willing to face it head on and go after what I want despite its presence. So I'm here today to express that no matter how dark things get, no matter how hopeless and lonely things feel, the road to recovery is there waiting for you. And on top of that, the strength to get there is something we all possess. So in other words, what I'm saying is that it truly does get better. And when it does, you will be grateful for the entire journey and the lessons that came with it. So thank you for listening to me, and thank you for giving me the chance to face yet another one of my fears. It means a lot.